Hi everyone, welcome to your practice. I'm Raquel. Today we're going to do a few warm-ups that involve promoting hip joint mobility. So we're going to play with internal rotation of the femurs into the hip socket and then external. And then towards a few more standing poses that will focus a lot on engaging the glutes and the external rotation of the legs. And so let's get started. We need one block for today's practice. And we're going to start in child's pose. So come to your hands and knees. Since we are exaggerating this, try to have the knees as wide as your mat and the big toes are going to touch. And then allow the hips to go all the way back in your child's pose. And if for you the sitting bones don't touch the heels, that's not a problem. You reach the hands forward and then you bring the forehead down for a moment. So with the fingers, walk the fingers forward. So you're trying to lengthen the arms, the whole of the spine. And then allow the pelvis to feel heavy down towards the heels. About 2 more breaths in this shape. Breathe into the back of your body. Now walk your hands a little bit more back towards your knees. Keep your knees in your hands and your feet where they are as you press them down and come up into a tabletop position. For this one, you're going to keep your knees where they were and make sure that when you look to your hands, the hands are forward of your shoulders and then your hips are forward of your knees. If you don't do this the following, you're not going to get it. So see if you can find this orientation of your body. And this is called the groin drop. So basically looking from outside, someone you would say that you're just shifting the hip side to side, but you're starting, which you are, but you're starting the movement from your groins. So bring awareness to your right groin and then allow the right groin to drop towards the left knee. And then for most of us, there's a sensation of opening and lengthening on the top right inner thigh, the groin. And then all the way back to center. And then as you exhale, it's the left groin that drops towards the right knee. Do one more time, center, right groin to the left knee. And inhale, center, left groin to your right knee. Now we're going to add to this. Come back to center. Right groin towards the left knee. Keep the hips tilted a little bit like this to the left, the way they are. As you press the hands down and shift the hips back. Try not to tuck the pelvis in and see what happens to the right inner groin. And then the hips come forward. We're going to do our other side. You bring yourself to center. Left groin drops towards your right knee. And as you press the hands down, you shift the hips a little bit back just until you feel the sensation changes on the left inner thigh. And then bring yourself forward and back to center. Okay. You have a block, grab your block, and have the block on the lowest setting as you sit on the block. And let's start with the soles of the feet together, knees apart. And hold your ankles, lengthen the spine. And really press the heels into each other, the balls of the feet and the pinkies. And try to spread the toes as if you were opening a book. And then as you hold your ankles, engage the outer buttocks down towards the floor and scoop them forward towards the screen as you reach the knees out to the side. And you should feel that both of your legs are working a lot. So lengthen here. Keep your legs active. As you bow forward from the pelvis, folding over towards your feet. Doesn't matter how far down you go. Just where you feel those outer hips are opening, that's a good place to be. If you know your hips are more open and your head goes all the way down to the floor, you can do that as well. Just one more breath here. Both of your feet are active. And then slowly all the way up. Hands to the outsides of your knees. Bring your knees up. Bring your feet forward about outer hip width apart, and then hands behind you. And let's do our pigeon toes. So heels up, heels out to the sides, and then heels down. And then if you want, you can exaggerate those toes going in towards each other as the balls of the feet touch the floor. If you have a hip replacement, please be very mild with this internal rotation. And then allow the insides of your knees to touch. Okay. Like we did with the hips, now we're going to do with our knees. They're going to go side to side, but with the awareness of the inner thighs leading the way. You're going to keep the sitting bones on the block the whole time. So take a breath. And then as you exhale, allow the right knee to track down the left shin. And then because your sitting bones are on the block, you're not going to go that far. So just notice they barely move. And then up. And you do the other side. So the sole of the foot that is moving, it can come up off the floor a little bit. But you do want to keep the sitting bones down. And then up. And you slide to the side. And then start to notice where the restriction comes from. And see if you can breathe in those spots. The point of this is not to do this fast at all. It's just trying to get more internal rotation. Naturally, we have very little of it. And then, if you go to yoga and then you don't do your internal rotations, this is definitely a movement we tend to lose. But it's very easy to get back. So this routine is a good one for that. And then let's do one more. The left knee slides down the right. And then back to center. Walk the feet back. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. And then hands on the insides of your knees. Now, if you want to open your hips, please do not press the knees down into the floor. That's not the way to go. Let's do that in a more active way. So have your hands on the insides of your knees. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, press the knee up into your hands, and with the hands you resist. Okay? So you should feel that the inner thighs and the knees are pressing up into your hands. Your arms are active. Your toes might even be gripping. And then you release. Now we're going to do the opposite. Hands on the outsides of your knees. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, press the knees down into the hands. And then notice how your arms have to work way more because the outer hip rotators are way stronger than our inner thighs. And then release. Okay. First side one more time, but this time you're going to give resistance so your knees come almost all the way up. So inhale. And then as you exhale, start to press the knee up into your hands. Let the arms work slowly. You can totally make a face. And then when the knees come almost all the way, you pause. Okay. Inhale. As you exhale, resist with the arms, the knees press into the hands. You lengthening through the spine. And then we release. Bring our knees up. For this one, I am going to mirror you. So bring your left shin forward so it's aligned with your mat. And since you have the left shin forward, have the block underneath your left sitting bone. So that means you need to move the block a little bit to the side. And then as you place that shin in front of you, we have 90 degrees all over. So flex the foot, the shin is aligned with your mat, your front knee is aligned with your hip. And then you look to your back knee, have the back knee also aligned with the hip, and you follow those 90-degree angles all over. The block gives you more height. It makes this more accessible. If you'd like to try this without the block, you can do that as well. If you're sitting up like this and this bothers your knee or your ankle or whatever, you can decrease the angle by bringing your heels close to your body. Okay? So any variation of this is fine. We're focusing now on the internal rotation of your back leg, which is your right leg. So press the fingers down, lengthen yourselves up. We're going to do crab hands towards the back leg. So you move a little bit to the side, just until you feel that inner thigh, that groin wake up. And let's do a side bend from here. Bring the arm up towards the ceiling as you do a side bend towards the back leg, your right leg. If you need to brace yourself more with the left fingertips, it's fine. But tune into what is it that back leg, the thigh into the hip bone, what is it doing? Good. And then from here we come all the way up. Lean yourself to the side so you give yourself space and bring the leg forward. And now you need to move that block to the other side as we do the second side. So now it's your right shin that is forward. Find your 90-degree angles, and this might be your funky side. You can always, again, decrease the angles as needed. So lengthen up. And then we do crab hands towards the back leg. None of us are gonna go far. And then you do a side bend. If you want even more juice on the back leg, very mildly, press the back knee into the floor. And then as you inhale, come all the way up, lean to the side, and bring that leg forward. Now come to standing, and then have your legs out, toes out. Go ahead and bend your knees for goddess legs. If you know you have more space in your hips, then you can bring the hips down so the thighs are parallel with the floor. You can do that. Totally fine. So for a moment, press the heels into the floor. Try to lengthen up. Let's do a twist. So one elbow to the opposite shoulder. And then up and do the other one. One more time. The first side. And then up and your second side. All the way back to center. Press the feet down and come up. Now, one of your heels up, bring the heel out and do the same thing other side. And you might even need to walk your legs, your feet wider apart. If it's okay in your body, do have those toes pigeon-toed. If it bothers the outsides of your ankles, just keep the toes facing forward. Okay, you might need your block now in a moment, so have your block handy. Lengthen up through the spine. And as you exhale, bow forward, sending the groins back. And then if the fingers don't easily find the floor, that's when you use those blocks. Go ahead and bend only your left knee, opening the opposite inner thigh. And you straighten, and you bend, and you straighten. From here, have the left hand underneath the face. It can be on the floor or on the block. Bring the right arm to the side and up towards the ceiling to a twist. Simple. And we release. We do the other side to the side and up. And we release. From here, hands to hips. Keep your spine long. Inhale, come all the way up. And bend the knees. Turn the right toes out. So you're already in the shape for warrior 2. And since we're working with hip mobility, let's focus on the strong external rotation of your front leg. So press the big toe down, press the pinky, press the front heel down, and pay a lot of attention to the flesh here just above the knee. Want that flesh to be engaged, the kneecaps to be pointing up so the whole of your leg is super engaged as you bend the front knee and you do warrior 2. Again, if you know you can bring your thigh parallel with the floor, you can do that. I have some hip issues, so that doesn't really work for my body, so I'm not going to do that. But all of us, we can all press the front heel down and bring your hand to the back hip point. Make sure that back hip point is a little bit at an angle. Very important. Now engage the right buttock. Send the right buttock down towards the floor and then forward towards the screen as you bring your right knee to behind you, right? So see if you can tune into what the front leg is doing. And then press the back foot down. You can also tune into that the back leg is doing a little bit of internal rotation, especially if you bring those toes in. So those toes are pointing also on a diagonal. And then open the arms out. Feeling the shape of the legs, the strength of your legs. One more inhale. And you straighten the leg. Release. Turn that foot in, the other foot out. Hands to hips. You know what you need to do. Engage the front, your kneecap. Press those big toes down as you go ahead and you bend the front knee. Your hips a little bit at an angle. Scoop the left buttock down into the earth and then forward as you allow the left knee to move a little bit to the left. Can you also soften the right groin, which is the back groin, a little bit back? And then open up, warrior two arms. One more inhale. And you straighten the leg. Okay. Hands down, turn the toes in. We're going to do that forward fold again. Choose what works best for you, toes forward or toes pigeon-toed. You're lifting from the pelvis, you're folding from the pelvis, hands find the block or the floor. And one more time, you bend only the left knee. And up and only the right. You straighten the legs. Let's do our twist. Left arm underneath the face. Right arm to the side and up to the ceiling. Let the pelvis move a little bit. And then down. And one more. Left arm to the ceiling. Let the pelvis move. Feel that groin. And then down. Hands to hips on a long spine. Come all the way up. And release the hands. Bend the knees and toe, heel the feet together. Now have the block on the third height in front of you. And I know we were doing open hip poses, but for this one, bring your hands to your hip points. You're going to try to keep the hip points facing dead ahead the whole time as you lift the right leg up. Open that knee to the side and then you flex the foot. And so you're doing figure four legs. And try to keep the hips facing the floor as you bend and you come into a modified chair pose. So you go down, 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 and then the hands find that block. Press the outer right shin into the standing thigh as you reach your right buttocks up towards the ceiling. So strong external rotation of the top leg. Another inhale. And with control, slowly bring yourselves to upright. And you release the leg. Give it a shake. Other side. Now I'm going to give you the side view of this. As you're ready, the left knee comes up. You open that knee to the side. You flex the foot. Take a breath in. And then slowly bend the standing leg to your modified chair pose. And our hands touch the block. Can we use this also as a hip opener? You press the outer left shin into the standing knee. Trying to reach the left knee on a diagonal to the left. And then the left hip up. And notice the standing leg getting tired. Good. And then from here, we slowly bring ourselves up and we release the leg. Give it a shake. Now move the block to the side. Come to standing Tadasana. Start to shift your weight onto your right leg. As best you can, engage all of those muscles, the glutes, the thighs. And then bring the left knee up. Any amount. Bring your hands back to your hip points. Keep the hip points facing forward as you open the knee out to the side until the foot lands wherever it wants to land on the leg. And then I'd like for you to try to keep your balance and then look down to your hip points. Have they moved to the side? Keep them forward. Doesn't really matter how far to the side that knee goes. So as long as you can keep those hip points flush, maybe keep your hands on your pelvis. Take a breath here. And then from the hip joint, can you open that knee to the side so you feel that you're using tree pose as a hip opener. And then bring your hands to your heart. From the waist up, can you lift? It's okay if you're wavering. Noticing your toes working, the calf of the standing leg. As you inhale, the knee comes forward and you release everything down. Give it a shake to the standing leg. We're going to do the other side. Let's transfer the weight to the left leg. Engage the buttock, the thigh. Use your hands. Now you know where we're going. Bring the leg up. Try not to use your hands. So use your active range of motion in the hip joint. As you open that knee to the side, let it land. Perhaps for that tactile input, have the palms or the fingers touch the hip points. Maybe take a look. What are they doing? You inhale. And then as you exhale, open it to the side without compromising the alignment of the hip. Lengthen up to the spine. Hands to heart. One more. And we bring the knee forward and release. Give it a shake. So last pose we're going to do, tree pose again. We're going to hold it for longer than usual. And in this first tree pose that we did the first side, we gave it a shake, and then we did the other side. For this last one tree pose we're going to do, we're not going to do that shake. We're going to do the first side, really feel the pose, come back to mountain pose, and straight to the second side. So see if you can refrain from fidgeting and from shaking. Okay, so a little bit more physically and mentally challenging. So start with our right leg, shift the weight onto the right leg. And because we're going to hold this for longer, if you notice you're struggling way too much with balance, I'd like for you to just keep the tippy toes on the floor or just be by the wall with one of your hands on the wall or even a chair in front of you. Okay? So the knee comes up, you open the knee to the side, and wherever it wants to land on your shin, it's fine. And then hands to heart. Press the foot into the earth. Engage the outer left glutes. See if you can open up that knee to the side even more. Not at the expense of the hip. Lengthen up through the spine. Can you soften the shoulders, the face? And then you bring the arms up to the ceiling. All the way out into a V. So notice when the body starts to fatigue, we're pretty ready to come out of the pose. So can you stay with the fatigue and breathe into those areas and continue to stay focused, noticing your challenge, the effort, the burning. Fold the palms at the top. Bring your hands to your heart. Bring the knee forward with control. Stay in your pose. And you release the foot down, release the arms. Try not to move around. Inhale here. Exhale down through the backs of the legs. One more, inhale through your center. Exhale, backs of the legs. Other side. All of your weight on your left leg. You bring the right knee up. Let it open out to the right, any amount. Again, maybe this is the side that you need more support. As you're ready, hands to heart. Lengthen up. Foot into the standing leg, it presses. You engage the outer right thigh, the butt, to open the knee. Whichever angle is available for you today. And notice on this side if it feels pretty much like the first one. Maybe you feel different parts of your legs. Inhale the arms up. And open out to the sides. Stay here, lengthen the spine. Stay in your tree. Maybe bring your tippy toes down, but stay in your tree. Reach up. Inhale the arms to the top. Fold the palms. Hands come through heart. Bring your knee forward. With control, release the foot and the arms. Feel the pose. Inhale into your center. Exhale through the back of your legs. One more inhale. Exhale, back of the legs. And notice the aftertaste of tree pose. See how it feels to be in your body, in your legs. This rooting, grounding energy of tree pose. See if you can bring some of this into the rest of your day. Thank you for practicing. Namaste. Hi again, did you enjoy this class? I have a lot of fun making them for you. So please leave me a comment. So leave me a comment, leave a like, click the subscribe button and hit the bell button so you can be notified of new videos. Thank you.